So online friends, please respond. Are you able to hear my voice online? Those who are in online, can you please respond? Can you hear my voice? Great. Yeah. So friends, keep quiet and listen. See, we'll be starting our revision lectures for how many days? 4 days. So, yeah. So please listen. I hope this sound is okay for you. Yeah. So friends, listen. In this 4 days, let me tell you some realities first of all, okay? In this 4 days, I have no plans to entertain you. We will completely stick on to syllabus only. And as you all know, you might have studied income tax once in your life, right? Are you all repeaters? Is there any freshers? No, repeat. I know most of you will be repeaters. Is there any freshers like hearing income tax for the first time? Raise your hands. Any freshers? Is there any freshers who's hearing income tax for the first time? No. All of you are repeaters only. But we will be explaining everything in very detail. But the point is, in income tax, as you all know, you might have written your exams once, right? In income tax, what is the speciality? When you compare to the other subjects, what is the speciality of income tax? The first speciality is, institute will ask a question in a way that it will be a combination of different chapters. You know one chapter very well, no use. You know two chapters very well, no use. You should know every chapter in a very well-versed manner. Then only you will be able to crack this examination. Are you all listening? Are you all listening? So friends, I have certain problems, okay? I want all of you to respond always. Otherwise, what will happen is, you will not hear my voice because I will start sleeping here. So income tax being a very dry subject, I know that it's going to be dry, okay? I'm not saying that we'll make it colorful and all. It will be very dry only. Trust me on this. But I'll make sure that within this 4 days, you have learned a lot of things, because what we have planned is, I'm about to give you a handout. This is actually a revision material that we are using for the upcoming 4 days. It's around 45 pages, okay? It's just chart, summary, that's it. All the important things I have categorized over here, and a handout will be provided to you. But when that handout will come here, I don't know. It will come, that's for sure, okay? Maybe during the break time, you can have a word with your management, and I think they will, perfect. Thank you. So, during the break time, I think they will be able to distribute that handouts to you. That's what my expectation is. Let's see anyways. And I'll share a question sheet also with you, because we will be solving some selected past examination questions also during this 4 days. So, I think this session is free for you, right? Is this free for you? Yes, it's not free. Very sorry. It's not free. I'm planning to charge something from you. And do you know what is that? Time. Time, yes. I'm planning to take your time for the 4 days. So I want one commitment from your side. You should attend all the sessions. Don't get late even by a minute. You should be here for the 4 days, for every session. Be on time. Don't be like coming, going, skip the next section, coming after that. Don't be like that. The first commitment from your side should be what? You should spend your time. You should invest your time. And you can raise your doubts in between, okay? Don't hesitate. If you have a doubt, raise your hands, then ask, okay? That will be better, because maybe I'll be explaining something. So if you raise your hands, I can tell you, give me a second, so that I can finish that particular explanation. Otherwise, I'll forget what I was saying, okay? So it is normally like that. So if you have doubts, please raise your hands, and don't hesitate to ask. Don't think about your image and all, okay? If I ask this doubt and what the others will think and all, don't even think about it, because this is the classroom and this is a space for learning. And our target is not to make you branded or not to build your image and all. What's our target? Okay, what is your target when you're coming to this 4 days revision? What is your target? Somehow clear this September 2024 examination, or maybe January 2024 examination. Some of you may be writing September and some of you may be writing January, whatever it is. That is our primary target, and for that you should be what? You should do whatever it is necessary. Okay. So without wasting time, let's start with the income tax topics. In between, I can give you some inputs and tips on how to prepare income tax and all. So friends, without wasting time, let's straight away start with the topics. So friends, as you all know, the subject is income tax and it is taxing your income. That is the main purpose of this subject. Now you tell me, say, what are the taxing rules in India? You don't have to copy all the notes. Okay, if you want, you can copy. But as I've told you, I will be giving a handout to you. Okay, so you all are eligible for the handout. Online students can actually talk to the management and they will actually give you an insight. Okay, don't worry. So friends, listen. Yes. So if you have any doubts, online friends, yes, do give me a chat. Okay, do text me in the chat. That will be fantastic. So I'll address you all your doubts through the chat, or you can actually raise your doubts through the chat. Okay. Yeah, friends. So listen. So the point is, say, income. What are the taxing rules for an income according to the income tax law? Any idea? There are actually 2 taxing rules to tax a particular income. Do you all know what are the taxing rules to tax an income? Can you share it with me if you know it? Rule number 1 and rule number 2. Come again? Don't hesitate, okay? Please respond. Be energetic. Tell me, what are the taxing rules that is prevailing in India according to the income tax law? Yes, amma solunga. That is the rate of tax. Default rate and old rate. Yeah. What are the taxing rule? Excellent. That is called a source rule. Excellent. Excellent. So friends, listen. First of all, you should be very thorough with the basics. That basic structure should be strong. Then you will be able to understand the advanced topics. Okay. So the very first point that you should know is the taxing rule which is available in India. There are actually 2 taxing rules. That means taxing rule means what? To tax an income, according to the income tax law, you should satisfy any of these following conditions. Number 1 is said to be residence rule. And can you tell me what is residence rule? Any idea what is residence rule? You all told me that you have heard income tax once in your life. Okay. Then you should be able to say this. What is residence rule? Person to be resident. Very simple. Excellent. Excellent, Gopalakrishna. The point is, if you are a person resident in India, then taxing your income according to the residential status is said to be what? Residence rule. That's why we are determining residential status under section 6. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? The point is very simple. If you are a person who is a resident in India, then your income will be taxable according to your residential status. And that concept is said to be what? Residence rule. So we can say number 1, residence rule. And number 2, you have source rule. Source rule is actually intended for non-residents. Source rule is actually intended for whom? Those people who are actually not residents in India. We technically call them as what? NRs, non-residents. That simply means if you are a person having an income which is sourced in India, or the source of income is from India, then you have to tax it according to the income tax law. And this is said to be what, friends? Source rule. If an income source is in India, then you should tax it according to the source rule. And that's what they say. Are you all with me? That is source rule. Now, let's elaborate the residence rule and let's elaborate source rule. So, residence rule simply means if you are a resident, then you should tax your income. So, listen. First of all, let's understand how to determine residential status according to the residence rule. So, friends, listen. For our our prime focus will be revolves around the individuals, because most probably in 99% cases, the question will have the computation of total income of an individual. When you go to your final level and all, there will be company, partnership firm, and other thing will come. For inter syllabus, the primary target is to understand how to compute the total income of an individual. Are you all with me? So listen friends, what our plan in this upcoming 4 days, we will be starting with the residential status. Then after completing the residential status and the basic things, we will be straight away charging to the salaries. Important topics in salaries. That includes allowances, gratuity, then perquisites and other thing in salary. So I have actually selected certain topics under salary. So after completing this salary topic, we will be completing house property. Everything have been given as charts, okay, to save time, because we have only 4 days. To save time and to cover maximum topics, we will be discussing everything in charts. Rather than giving you elaborate explanation, which is actually not required in a revision session, our target will be completing most of the topics in a deeper manner. So I'm making use of charts to explain all the concepts. So this is all about the salary. Thereafter, we will be starting house property. I'm not saying that we will be discussing house property from end to end. Those important things I have selected here, and we will be discussing these important things in house property. After completing that, we will be starting with the PGBP. Then selected things under capital gain. After completing this, we will rush towards capital gains, and selected things in capital gains we will be completing. Then we will discuss basics of IFOS. Not basics, some selected topics in IFOS. And soon after that, we will be discussing a chapter called as computation of total income. In that chapter, I will make you understand what is this old slab, what is this new slab, that is under section 115 BAC. And we will solve some basic questions, not basic questions, past exam questions in relation to this. So I have selected certain questions which are either RTP question, you can see. Either it is one second. Yeah, so the questions we are about to solve in this session will be either an RTP question or past exam questions. I have selected certain questions to solve. So this will be either a past exam question or RTP question. It is like that. You can see the questions along with the mark weightage I have put, okay. So from all the chapters, I have selected some questions. It's around, there are certain questions. So we will be solving all the questions after the respective theory. So as I've told you, the one thing that I require from your side is what? You always have to come on time. Because if you miss something, then you will not get the continuity when I take the very next thing. Are you all with me? Online friends, is that a deal? Are you all here? Please respond. Excellent, friends, excellent. So without wasting time, let's get into the technical things, and we will be discussing each and every topic. So we'll start with the residential status. So friends, listen, you tell me, what is the purpose of determining residential status? See, if a person is a resident, then we will compute his total income accordingly. If a person is a non-resident, we will be computing his total income in a different manner. That is what is called as residence rule and source rule. Are you with me? Are you with me? And in residential status, as you all know, we have 3 residential statuses. What are the 3 residential statuses? Resident and ordinary resident. Number 2, resident, not ordinary resident. Number 3, non-resident. For ROR, determination of scope of total income is in one way. For RNOR, determination of scope of total income is another way. For NR, determination of total income will be another way. So, for determining your total income only, after computing total income only, you will be able to understand what is this tax liability. Yes or no? Because we compute the tax liability on the total income of a person. So the first preliminary job for any person who is associated with direct tax is to understand a person's total income. For understanding total income, you should know what exactly is the residential status of that particular person. Then only we will be able to categorize whether it forms part of the total income or not. Are you all with me? Have you understood what I said? So the first and preliminary thing that you should know is how to determine the residential status. And let's start with the residential status. Amendments, yes. I'll be covering amendments also. Don't worry, Soumya. We'll be discussing amendments. And we don't have much amendments compared to the last examination attempt. We only have a few selected amendments. That's it. The major amendment is under 115 BAC. Okay, I'll be able to discuss 115 BAC only after completing the 5 heads. That is the problem. Okay, so after completing the 5 heads, I think on the last day we will be discussing the majority of the amendments. Why? Because that is the only way that I can share the amendments or discuss the amendments. So listen. So the point is, the first thing that you should know is, as I've told you, is income can be categorized into 2: residence rule and source rule. Let's determine the residential status of a person, and we will be discussing this chart after determining residential status. So let's understand how to determine the residential status of a person. Again, I'm repeating this. Why we are determining residential status? Because we should know that based on the residential status only, we will be able to determine the total income of a person. You should always ask this question, why? Then only you will learn income tax law. Rather than by hearting income tax law, you should understand the crux. What is this? Deny? Okay, fine. So friends, listen. Let's understand what exactly is the concept of residential status. So friends, listen. In the case of an individual, are you all listening? Are you all listening? In the case of an individual, determination of residential status is based on days of stay of a person in India. Forget about every technical things. In common layman's language, what do you mean by resident? Say for example, a person, if we want to say a person as a resident of Chennai, then we should say that you should live in Chennai. Similarly, a person is said to be a resident in India if he stays in India. So the criteria to determine residency status is what? Days of stay in India. Are you with me? Chennai resident means a person residing in Chennai. Indian resident means a person residing in India. So the main pivotal factor to determine residency status always will be what? Days of stay of a person in India. So that is what is the first criteria that you should know, resident, which is under section 6, subsection 1. So a days of stay in India during the PY is 182 days or more, then we can say that a person is a resident in India. That simply means if a person residing in India for how many days? 182 days or more in a previous year. What is previous year? Previous year means the year in which you earn income. Are you all with me? Previous year means what? The year in which you earn income. That is said to be what? Previous year. Yes. So friends, where were we? Yeah. What do you mean by previous year? The year in which income is earned. And what is assessment year? What is assessment year? Only after completing 1 year, you will be able to know the total income of that year. Yes or no? So department say, don't pay your taxes in the PY. Rather, you do one thing, you compute your total income and pay your taxes in assessment year. But it is not like that, because department is asking for advance tax. Okay, that is what the concept of advance tax, because department don't want to wait for the PY to get over. There will be 1 year delay. So they always ask advance tax from the assessee. But the main crux is like, you have to wait for a PY to get over, then only you will be able to compute the total income, and that computation will happen in AY. And what is the full form of AY? Assessment year. What is assessment? The year in which your income is getting computed. That is said to be what? Assessment. Assessment na and the computation. Okay. So the point is, the year in which your income is getting computed is said to be what, friends? Assessment year. And the year in which income is earned is said to be the previous year. Now the point is, you need to check the number of days of a stay of a person in India in the PY, because that is the year in which you are earning income. You are earning income by residing in India. You should pay the taxes in India. That is the concept. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? You should learn income tax in this manner. Then only you will be able to solve the examination questions, because they will always come up with a practical question. It won't be like how many days you have to stay in India for being a resident. Dash. And the Mari question they will never ask. Okay. So the question will be highly practical, and you should know what is the purpose of this or concepts and all. Are you all with me? So tell me, friends, in the PY, if a person is residing in India for 182 days or more, then what is the conclusion? What is the conclusion? We can call that person as what? Resident. It is as simple as that. Are you all with me? Excellent. Now, say for example, and what is the relevant PY for you in the upcoming examination? What is the relevant previous year for you in the upcoming examination? It is previous year 2023-24. That means assessment year 2024-25. Are you all with me? Yes. Excellent. Excellent. Very good, friends. Good participation from the online students. Excellent. So the point is, a year is said to be PY if you are earning income in that particular year. Only after that year you will be computing your total income, and that year in which you compute your total income is said to be what? Assessment year. So coming back to the point, friends, in the PY, that means a year, that means for you it will be from 1st April 2023 through 31st March 2024. During that period, if you stay in India for 182 days or more, you will become resident for that year. That also means you need to check the residency status of a person every year. Because this year I might be in India. Next year, maybe I might be in US. And the next year after that, I might be in Canada. So I can be like that. So every year you should determine the residential status for determining his total income. So you have to do it in a year basis. Are you all with me? Moving on. Say for example, a person resided, Yes. For Jan 25 attempt and for September 24 attempt, your previous year will be 23-24. But for May 2025, your previous year will be 24-25. And for 24-25, today is 22nd of July. Within 2 days, another budget will come. New budget. The first budget of Modi government 3.0. Yeah, it's 3.0, right? Yeah, so Modi 3.0 government is actually bringing another budget within 2 days. And 24th of July, we are expecting the new budget. That is for your May 25. So don't worry. Okay, if you switch on the TV and all, you can see that changed, this changed, date come, those gone, new rebate come, new rates come. Don't worry about it. Subjected to one condition. And what is that condition? You all will qualify in September or in September. Why or? You should say, no, sir. You are, sir, okay, sir, in September, okay, January, no, don't say like that, okay? You should all qualify in September. And only for the information purpose, I was saying that the same will be applicable for January 25 as well. Now, friends, coming back to the point, say, for example, I'm a person in the previous year, 2023-24, I stayed in India for 160 days only. I stayed in India for how many days? 160 days only. You tell me, am I a resident or a non-resident? 1 second. I think the online friends, is the screen stuck? Online friends, I think yes. Okay, 1 second, 1 second. Okay, fine. So friends, listen. Where were we? So what I was saying is, say I'm a person who stayed in India for 23, 24 for how many days? 160 days. What's my status? According to the theory that we have learned, you should stay in India for how many days? 182 days. And one more thing I can tell you. What do you mean by how do you count the days of stay? When you count the days of stay, both the date of arrival and date of departure, you have to count as if you are in India. Are you with me? When you count the days of stay in examination, you have to count both the date of arrival and date of departure. It is not 24-hour basis and all. Say for example, today at night I came to India. I have to count this day as one day. Are you with me? Say today 11:45 I came to India. At night 11:45 I came to India. So I stayed only for 15 minutes. But you have to count it as one full single day. That's what I've told you. Both the date of arrival and date of departure you have to count as if you are in India. Are you all with me? These kinds of small things actually will give you a big difference in your examination. Okay. Now, so if I'm a person who stayed in India for less than 182 days, then there is one more conditions that you have to check. And what is the second condition? We normally say it as the second basic condition. So for determining residency status, you have two conditions. Number one, first basic condition, that is 182 days or more. Number two, second basic condition. And let's understand what is second basic condition. Can you read the second basic condition along with me? Days of stay in India during current previous year is 60 days or more, and for preceding 4 previous years 365 days or more. That is aggregate days of stay. What do you mean by this? So friends, listen, it's very simple. Say for example, my relevant previous year is say 2023-24. What do you mean by relevant previous year? The previous year in which we are computing the total income is said to be the relevant previous year, or the previous year in which you have earned the income is said to be the relevant previous year. Say in the relevant previous year, I stayed in India for 150 days. How many days I've stayed? 150 days. So 182 days condition will not get satisfied anyways. Why? Because I've stayed in India for only 150 days, less than 182. So what you need to do? You need to check my days of stay in India for the past 4 preceding PYs. You tell me which all are the past 4 preceding PYs. 22-23, sorry, it is 22-23, then 21-22, 20-21 and 19-20. These are the past immediately 4 preceding years. So I need to count the days of stay in all the 4 immediately preceding previous years. Say I stayed for 100 days in 22-23 and 80 days in 21-22, say 20 days in 20-21 and say 140 days in 19-20. So can you count the total days of stay for the past 4 previous years? How many is the total days of stay for the past 4 preceding previous years? 100 plus 80 plus 20 will be 200 plus 140 will be 340. So instead of 140, I'll make 180, okay? Then it will be 380. Alright, so instead of 140, I've made it how much? 180. I've changed it so that our total will be 380. Now the thing is, if 182 days or more condition is not getting satisfied, then what to do? You need to check the second basic condition and tell me what is the second basic condition. Read. Days of stay in India during the current PY should be 60. That is the first thing. Whether the relevant PY you have stayed in India for 60 days or more, you check that first. You tell me how many days you have stayed in the relevant PY. More than 60. We can say 150 days you have stayed. So it is exactly or more than 60. That is satisfied. Then that is not enough. Along with that, one condition also you have to be satisfied. And what is the second one? For the preceding 4 previous years, 365 days or more condition also have to be satisfied. So you tell me, what is the preceding 4 previous years? What is my total days of stay? 380, which is equal to or more than 365. So 60 plus 365 days condition we have satisfied. If we have satisfied, again we will be becoming what? Resident. So the priority order should be, in a question, first you check the possibility of 182. If it is not getting satisfied, only think about 60 plus 365. 60 in the relevant PY and 365 days in the immediately for preceding previous year. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? So the first thing to check is either 182 or 60 plus 365. You will be becoming a resident in India. Now, if both the conditions are not getting satisfied, say both have not satisfied, then what will happen? Very simple. You are not a resident. That means you are a non-resident. That's what we have written. Non-resident. If both the above conditions are not satisfied, then the individual will be a non-resident. Are you all with me? So the point is very simple. The first thing to check is days of stay. Check whether you have stayed in India for 182 days or more. If it is not satisfied, check for the 60 plus 365. What do you mean by 60 plus 365? Relevant PY, you stayed in India for 60 days or more, and immediately for preceding previous year, you check whether you have stayed for 365 days or more. If that condition is getting satisfied, then what we can say? You are a resident in India. Are you with me? Excellent. So, if you are a resident in India, now you need to check about the ROR, RNOR status. Before that, there are certain exceptions to this particular condition, and let's understand the exceptions. Yes, both the conditions have to be satisfied. Yes, Ragul, both the conditions have to be satisfied. That means 60 and 365. Basic condition, either 182 or 60 plus 365. Okay. If you check about the residency status, either 182 days or 60 plus 365 days. That means if you already satisfied 182, don't check 60 plus 365 because you will be a resident already. Have you got my point, Ragul? Please respond. Have you understood what I said? Yes, great. So, moving on, friends, let's understand what's next. Listen. See, can you read this marginal note over here? Can you read this? Second condition is not applicable in the following circumstances. Hello, guys. I want all of you to read that note. Okay, read along with me. Second condition is not applicable in the following circumstance. Why I am making you read is, if you read, you will learn. That's it. You will learn it from the class itself. Otherwise, again, you have to go home, take effort, sit and read everything by yourself. You tell me which is better. Learning from classroom itself will be better. Yes or no? Yes or no? Akka, respond pannaka. Okay, so I want all of you to be responsive in the class. Why? Because you will learn everything from the classroom itself. Online friends, you yourself have to take care, okay? Because I cannot check that whether you are responding or not. So whenever you are at home or wherever you are, respond. Okay, forget about what others think. Whether you are in a railway station also, respond. Don't worry. Okay, maybe people will call you loose or paityam. Doesn't matter. Our aim is to qualify CA, Inter. Whether others call us loose or paityam, does that matter? It shouldn't matter. Okay, because our target is only to qualify CA, Inter in the upcoming attempt. Whatever happens for that, you shouldn't care. Are you with me? Are you with me? Yes, excellent. So friends, can you read that? Second condition is not applicable in the following circumstances. That means first condition is staying in India for 182 days or more. What is the second condition? 60 plus 365. That's 60 plus 365. That's why there is an arrow here. 60 plus 365 is not applicable in the following circumstances. Are you all with me? That 60 plus 365 day condition is not applicable in the following circumstances. We can say that these are exceptions to the second basic condition. And which all are the exceptions? Number one, Indian citizens who leave India during the relevant PY as a member of crew of an Indian ship or for the purpose of employment outside India. For applying this exception, you have to be an Indian citizen. What do you mean by Indian citizen? Come again. Who is an Indian citizen? Born in India. Born in India will become a citizen. That is one of the way. citizenship by inheritance. We call it as citizenship by inheritance. Your parents are Indian. Exactly. Citizenship of inheritance of India. Excellent. So, citizenship by inheritance. Now you can apply for the citizenship. You can also apply by staying in India. So, that simply means if you are a person having a voting right in India, then you will be considered as a citizen in India. Or if you want to make it more simple, very simple, if you have an Aadhaar card or a election ID, you will be considered as an Indian citizen. For that, there is a new act, Citizenship Amendment Act came in. Are you all with me? We all are citizens by inheritance. That's what I think. When I look at you, we all are, including me, we all are citizens by inheritance because our parents or grandparents or great-great-grandparents, they all are India. Exactly. The parents or grandparents are in undivided India. Yes, undivided India is also fine. That means before division, that some part of the Pakistan, then some part of the Bangladesh, not some part, the entire Bangladesh, everything was a part of India. So undivided India is also fine. Now, so the point is, so is he considered as a resident even though he left India as a ship member? Yes, that's what I'm about to say. Okay, don't worry. So Indian citizen who leave India during relevant PY as a member of crew of an Indian ship. That simply means you are a crew member of an Indian ship. What is crew member? Crew, not screw. Okay, what is crew member? Crew member means you are an official staff in that particular ship. Are you all with me? There is an Indian ship and that Indian ship is leaving India. There is an Indian ship and that Indian ship is leaving India. Say today. Today that ship, okay, Sharan came up with an anchor also. Okay, excellent. So, in the meanwhile, you are searching for the emoji. All right. So, the point is say today, a ship is leaving India. I am an individual who is a crew member of that particular ship. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? And what is the date today? It is 22nd July 2024. So, 22nd July 2024. I left India as a crew member of an Indian ship. So, I am an Indian citizen and I left India as a part of a crew member of an Indian ship. You tell me, for me, whether 60 plus 365-day condition is applicable? The answer is no. Why? Indian citizen who left India as a crew member of an Indian ship, the second basic condition is actually not applicable for becoming resident. For me, there is only one condition. And you tell me what is that one condition? 182 days or more stay in India. Bus. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? So friends, let's understand what exactly is this particular point. So listen again. If you are a Indian citizen who leave India as a part of a crew member of an Indian ship, then 60 plus 365-day condition is not applicable to you. For becoming resident, you only have to satisfy one condition. That is, only one condition will be applicable for you, and that is that 182 days or more stay in India. Are you all with me? Now, there is one more thing. Or for purpose of employment outside India. We can read it in full. Read along with me. Indian citizens who leave India during the relevant PY as a member of crew of an Indian ship or for the purpose of employment outside India. What is that? Say for example, today I left India. Okay, today I left India in search of job. What? In search of a job. Or I got a job overseas. So I thought of leaving India today. I'm an Indian citizen. For me also, what this 60 plus 365-day condition is not applicable. Are you with me? Are you with me? Excellent. Very good. So friends, listen. So why these conditions are not applicable for Indian citizens who leave India as a member of a crew member of a ship as well as who left India for the purpose of employment? Why there is an exception? Imagine a situation. Say today I am leaving India. Today the date is 22nd July 2024. Say the relevant PY is 24-25. Say the relevant PY is 24-25. And in 24-25, April 30 days I am in India. May 31, June 30, and July 22 days I am in India. Are you with me? It is more than 60. Anyways, it is more than 60. Say I am leaving India for the first time. I am leaving India for the first time. So for the past 4 years, I was completely in India. For the past 4 years, I am completely in India. So I'll become a resident. If this exception was not there, I will become a resident. If I become a resident, then what will happen? I'm leaving India and I'm doing some job overseas. Yes or no? I'm leaving India and doing some job overseas. That salary which I receive over there, for that also I have to pay taxes in India. Yes or no? Because you are a resident. Taxation according to the residential tax will come. Double taxation will come. That country also may levy taxes. Or it should be a country like GCC, where there is no personal income tax. Normally, the other countries also will charge income tax. And for that person, again, he have to suffer taxation in India. And you have to refer double taxation avoidance agreement and all for that. Headache. Are you with me? Don't take any headache. Don't worry, don't take any headache. For you, we are not considering you as a resident in India. Yes, Ismail. DTAA, not DDTA. DTAA. Double taxation avoidance agreement, which is not there for your inter. Okay, don't worry. Don't think what is this double taxation avoidance agreement at all. It is there only in final level, not in inter level. You have to check this double taxation avoidance agreement to avoid the impact of double taxation. Forget about that. So why they are giving an exception to these people is to avoid unnecessary headache. You are Indian citizen. You are only our son or our daughter. Okay, don't worry. You leave India in these circumstances, we will not consider you as a resident. That's it. Now, one more exception is there. Can you read the second exception? Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin engaged outside India in an employment or a business or a profession or in any other vocation who comes on a visit to India in a previous year. Are you all with me? Yeah. So the point is, if you are an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. What is that? What do you mean by Indian origin? What do you mean by Indian origin? Your parents or grandparents are born and brought up in India, or they are citizens of India. India means undivided India. Best example, Kamala Harris, US Vice President. Then Rishi Sunak, past British President, because right now he failed in the elections. Okay, in the upcoming election he actually failed. So Rishi Sunak is one of the Indian origin. Kamala Harris, US Vice President, she is also an Indian origin. I think her mother is a Tamilian, if I'm not wrong. That's what my understanding is. So she is from Tamil Nadu. That's what, yeah, from Chennai maybe. I think yes, that is what I think. So these people are considered as Indian origins. Either your father or grandfather is an Indian citizen. Indian means either divided or undivided India. You will be considered as an Indian origin. So the second exception is applicable for both Indian citizen as well as Indian origin. The first exception is applicable only for whom? First exception is applicable only for whom? Indian citizen. And the second exception is applicable for both citizens and origins, provided they engage outside India in an employment or business or profession or in any other vocation who comes on a visit to India in any previous year. Very simple. Say currently you are residing outside India. You are residing where? Outside India. You came on a visit to India. You came on a visit to India. So you want to celebrate Holi, or you want to celebrate some festives, or you want to see your ancestors. You came to India and you are residing in India for some time and you're going back. Are you with me? Don't worry. Second basic condition is not applicable for you. You will become resident only if you stay in India for 182 days or more in that PY. Are you with me? Are you with me? Excellent. So 1 second, I have some doubts, I think, in online. 1 second. Yeah. So is he considered as a resident even though he left? Okay. I think I have addressed everything. So yeah. So crew member, okay, 1 second. Crew member left India in March 1st, 2023. Whether we have to consider him for this condition for PY 23-24. March 1st, 2023 he left. Okay. Then in 23-24 you don't have to check his residency status because that person is not in India, right? Maunika, I think you got my point. If he's left in India in March 1st, 2023, then in 23-24 starts from 1st April 23, right? So in March, if he left India, then you don't have to worry about his residency status in 23-24. Any previous year means current PY and 4 preceding PY or all the PY like right from the time the individual was born or all the PY from the time the individual went outside India for employment, etc. Aditya, actually, I didn't get your question, but whatever I understood from this wordings, see, first of all, every PY means starts from April to ends with March, okay? Every PY, you have to check the residency status. You need to check whether he stayed in India in a period starts from April, ends with March. Whether he stayed in India between that period for 182 days or more. Immediately for preceding previous year means, if your relevant PY is 23-24, immediately 4 means what? Any 4 not. Immediately 4. That's what I've shown you an example, okay? Immediately 4 means 23-24 is your relevant PY. Immediate 4 means 22-23, 21-22, 20-21 and 19-20. Got my point? Second point once more. Yes, don't worry. I'm about to say the second point once more. Don't worry. Aditya, I hope you got my point, okay? Please respond. Those who are asking doubts, please respond. In the second exception, it is mentioned any PY last line. So what does that PY? Okay. In the second exception, any PY. That means you comes on a visit to India in any PY. You are visiting India in any PY. That PY, you will become a resident only due to 182 days condition. That's what I meant. Have you understood? This any PY does not have any other relevance here. Whenever you come to India in a PY, that PY, this second basic condition is not applicable for you. Have you understood? Please respond, Aditya. Yes, great. So if you have doubts, please raise your doubts, okay? Because this is the place for learning. Utilize this session in the maximum level. Are you all here? Utilize me in the maximum level possible. Are you all here? Yes, so we were saying the second condition, I'll repeat that. If you are an Indian citizen or Indian origin engaged outside India in an employment or a business or a profession. Say I'm a person. I'm an Indian citizen. Currently I'm in Dubai. Currently where? I'm in Dubai. Or currently I'm in France or Italy, wherever I am. Currently I'm in Europe. I'm doing a job over there. I'm doing what? A job over there. So I will come under that category. Indian citizen or an Indian origin engaged outside India, either in an employment or a business or a profession or any vocation, anything. But right now I am where? Outside India. In between a PY, I visited India. When you visit India, you have to start counting the number of days to determine the residential status. Don't check for 60 plus 365 because that is not applicable for you. Only check whether you have stayed in India in the relevant PY that you are coming to India for 182 days or more. Have you understood? Have you understood? All right. So these are the two things that you should know. So listen. Let's discuss that point again. So to determining residential status, the first thing is what? 15 lakhs I am about to come. Ismail, wait. Okay. That is the next thing. First of all, I should complete this two condition. Okay. I know there is 15 lakhs condition. Okay. First of all, I should complete this. Then only I'll be able to explain that. Okay. Wait. Okay. Now, coming to that point, don't worry. So, listen. To determine the residency status, I'm actually happy that you are so eager to learn. Okay, you guys are so eager to learn. I'm so happy that. But give me some time, da. I should explain one concept and complete it. Okay, then only I'll be able to explain the other one. So don't worry. Yeah. So The point is, to determining residency status, days of stay is the criteria. Either 182 days or more, or 60 plus 365. 60 plus 365 is not applicable for Indian citizen who leave India as a part of your employment or as a crew member of Indian ship. If you are a crew member of a foreign ship, you have to include 60 plus 365 also. This is how institute create question. They will say, you are a person, Indian citizen, you left India as a crew member of, they will say, foreign ship. You know that Indian citizen left India as a crew member, 60 plus 365 day, not applicable. Then you say not applicable. But the twist is foreign ship. These kinds of twists, they will add these kinds of small things. Then only they can make this exam competitive. Are you with me? Yes. So moving on to the next point, friends. So two exceptions were there. The second exception is Indian citizen or Indian origin engaged outside India, comes on a visit to India, then also 60 plus 365 day condition is not applicable. Now there is a twist. And what is the twist? Can you read that green box over there? I hope it is, you can read that. Okay. So can you read that green box? However, individual, Indian citizen or person of Indian origin in an employment or business or profession or in any other vocation who comes on a visit to India in any previous year and has total income, TI means total income from Indian source in the relevant PY is more than or greater than 15 lakh shall be treated as resident if, forget about this note, days of stay in India during the previous year is 182 days or more, or days of stay in India during the PY is 120 days or more, and for immediately preceding previous year it is 365 days or more. It's a kind of a long story, so let's understand what exactly is that particular story. So 1 second, I have some more doubts. What is that? Is it if it's foreign ship, the second basic condition is applicable? Yes. If it is foreign ship, it should be Indian ship to claim the exclusion, okay, or to claim the exception. If it's foreign ship, yes, that will be applicable. Not clear PDF. Is that so? Can you read this? I think this is due to the Zoom. There is some kind of problem in the Zoom, I think. But online friends, can you read the things in the PDF? I mean, can you read the things here in the screen? Please respond. Are you able to read this? Blurred a bit. Okay. Blurred a bit. I think that is, it is a little bit blurred. I know that, but I think because of the Zoom, there is some kind of a small, it's a little bit blurred, but I hope you can manage it with it. Okay. Now listen, I'll read that. Don't worry. Shh. Listen. However, Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin engaged outside India in an employment or business or profession or in any other vocation who comes on a visit to India in the PY, that simply means this person, Indian citizen. Can you read this? Indian citizen or Indian origin who is engaged outside India comes on a visit to India. For that person, 60 plus 365 day condition is not applicable. That's what we have learned just now. Are you all with me? For that person, there is one more thing, and that is what extra thing. And that person have total income from Indian source in the relevant PY, which is more than 15 lakh, then it shall be treated as resident if he stayed in India for 182 days or more. Obviously, for all person, 182 days or more stay in India is applicable. Are you with me? But if you are an Indian citizen or an Indian origin who is residing outside India, comes on a visit to India, 60 plus 365 day condition is not applicable for you. Yes or no? But you have another condition that is called as 120 days of stay in the relevant PY plus 365 days or more stay in immediately for preceding PY if your total income from Indian source is more than 15 lakh. That simply means, I'll create an example for a better understanding. Okay, so I want all of you to be very attentive over here. So listen, say I am Mr. JK. I am Mr. JK and currently I am residing in France. Okay, I am residing where? In France. I have an employment over there. I have what? Employment over there. Due to my earnings in France, I bought a house property. I bought a house property in, say, Mumbai. I bought a house property where? In Mumbai. And from that house property, I'm getting a rental income of, say 25 lakhs. And I'm getting a rental income of how much, friends? 25 lakhs. Are you all listening? Are you all listening? So I am a person who is currently residing in France and I'm earning something from France. Out of my earnings in France, I invested it in India because my basic country is where I'm born and brought up in India. I got a job in France. So due to that, love towards India, I invested my amount in India. And I bought a house property in Mumbai, which has a capacity to earn a rental income of how much? 25 lakhs. Listen. This happened in 2023-24. In 23-24, I am earning an income of 25 lakhs in India. Are you all with me? Now you tell me, which all are the possibilities for Mr. JK to become a resident in India? JK, say for example, this 23-24 is coming to India and staying in India for 182 days or more, then I'll become a resident. Are you with me? If JK is coming to India and staying, residential status is a short question. Okay, mostly they ask a question in residential status. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? So you should know the concept in a very well detailed manner because they will never ask repetitive question from this. Are you with me? They will add something more in every attempt. So tell me, JK came to India and stayed in India for 182 days or more. I'll become a resident. Are you with me? Are you with me? Say JK came to India and stayed in India for 80 days in 23-24 and 400 days from 2020 to 23 to 19-20. Immediately for preceding PY, I was in India for 400 days and the relevant PY voice is not clear. Is that so? Is my voice breaking? Online friends, please respond. Is my voice breaking? No. All right. Excellent. Very good. Yeah. So coming back to the point, friends, where were we? So I stayed in India in 23-24 for how many days? Respond. How many days? 80 days. From 22-23 to 19-20 or from 19-20 to 22-23, I stayed in India for how many days? 400 days. But this is irrelevant. Why? Because I am Mr. JK. That means an Indian citizen residing outside India, residing in France, comes on a visit to India. For me, that 60 plus 365 day condition is not applicable. Are you all with me? Is that point clear? Now, friends, listen. Now, situation number 3. I came to India for 140 days. I came to India for 140 days in 2023-24. In 23-24, I came to India for how many days? 140 days. Then I stayed, say, in preceding 4. That means from 22-23 to 19-20 period. Preceding 4, I was in India for, say, 500 days. I was in India for how many days? 500 days. Normally, we don't have to check this. But what that green box says is, can you read that green box, that highlighted thing? However, Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin engaged outside India in either an employment or business or profession or in any other vocation who comes on a visit to India in a previous year and has total income from Indian sources in the relevant previous year. That means the previous year, relevant previous year in our example was 23-24. That income should be more than 15 lakh. Then shall be treated as a resident if he stays in India for either 182 in the relevant PY. Or there is one more condition. What is that? You stayed in India during the PY, that is 120 days or more. That means in the relevant PY, you stayed in India for how many days? 120 days or more. Along with that, for immediately preceding PY, you stayed in India for 365 days or more. If both are getting satisfied, that means 120 plus 365. If these two are getting satisfied, I will become again a resident. Are you with me? Are you with me? So you tell me, in this example, if Mr. JK came to India and stayed in India in 23-24 for 140 days, and for the 4 preceding previous year I stayed in India for 500 days, I'll become a resident due to that 120 plus 365 days condition. Are you all with me? So listen, the conclusion is very simple. Let's conclude this. Okay, online friends, I hope you can see the screen. Yeah, I'll come to your doubts, don't worry. So what we can conclude is very simple. If you are a person who's an Indian citizen or Indian origin, are you all with me? If you are a person who is an Indian citizen or Indian origin residing outside India in anything, in any job or any engagement, you are coming to India for a visit. You are coming to India for a visit. How do we determine residential status? How do we determine our residential status? Let's draw another chart. Okay, let's conclude this by drawing another chart. So listen, if you are an Indian citizen or Indian origin residing outside India, comes on a visit to India, For determining residential status, we can split this into 2. This is again the repetition of what we are learning. Okay, what we have learned just now. You can split this into 2. Whenever you are determining residential status, you need to consider that case into 2. Number 1, you need to check whether his total income from Indian source is more than 15 lakh. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? You need to check whether his total income from Indian source is more than 15 lakh. If the answer is yes, what do you mean by yes? In that relevant PY in which we are checking the residential status, he is earning an income of more than 15 lakh from India. For the time being, Indian source means India. We have a definition for that we will cover later. Okay, so from India, he is earning for more than 15 lakh in the relevant PY. Then how to determine residency status? Then for determining residency status, you have 2 conditions. What are the 2 conditions? 182 days or more stay in India in the relevant previous year. Or what is the second condition? 120 days or more stay in India in the relevant previous year plus 365 days or more stay in India during immediately for preceding PY. Are you with me? That immediately should be there. It doesn't mean that any for. Okay, it is immediately for preceding PY. If you stayed for 365 days or more, this case also you will become a resident in India if your total income from Indian sources more than 15 lakh. Exactly 50 also no problem. Exactly 15, not 50. Exactly 15 also no problem. More than 15 lakhs it should be. Now what is the second possibility? His total income from Indian source, say less than or equal to 15 lakh. Then for determining residency status, you need to check only one condition. What is that condition? 182 days or more stay in India. That's it. For you, 60 plus 365 not applicable because you are covered under that exception. Are you with me? For you, 120 plus 365 is also not applicable. Why? Because your income from Indian source is not more than 15 lakh. Is that crystal clear? Is that crystal clear? Now let me get back to the doubts in online. Okay, online friends, don't worry. I'll address all the doubts. For that, PY conditions of... Okay, how many doubts we have? We have lot. Okay, yeah. Okay, super. Wait. Sir, if a person, Indian origin, engaged outside India, visit 120 days and for preceding year 365, but his total income less than 15, is the person resident? I hope, Aarti, I hope you got the answer. Okay, that's what we have drawn here. If person stays in Singapore for 25 years and becomes citizen in Singapore and he has a proprietorship, okay, I can read that, a proprietorship in India, he comes to India and stays for 1 week in every year. And sir, what is this case? Non-resident. Every year, 1 week, no problem. You'll be a non-resident. Sir, suppose a person having 14 lakh income. Okay, actually, they are actually doing some kind of questionnaire. Okay. Sir, suppose a person having 14 lakhs income, then 120 days condition is not applicable, right? Yes. 14 lakhs income, don't even worry about the 120 plus 365. Yes, it's 15 or above. For that person, 182 days condition only applicable. For that person means what person? Oh, okay, you are answering. Okay, got it. Okay. 182 days or more or 120 days or more, at least 365 days or more in the PY. You are responding very good. What happens in case of leap year? Leap year, you have to count that also. And the funniest thing is, 23, 24, it's a leap year. February have 29 days. Yes, very good question. Niranjini, yes, you have to count that 29. How do you identify whether a year is leap? Whether that February year divisible by 4, then it is leap. Otherwise, don't even worry about that. Yes. Then, sir, does this point also come under section 6 subsection 1? Yes, everything is under section 6 subsection 1. Then Indian origin not visiting in India, but income from Indian source exceeding 15 lakh. For that, Indian origin, for that there is one more thing called deemed residency status. Okay, that we will discuss later. Deemed residency status is also there. If you are not covered under deemed residency status, you will not be a resident. Then, sir, please share chart. Okay, that we will talk. You have to discuss it with the management. They will do the necessary. 15 lakh 1, more than enough. But 15 lakh 1, you can round it off to 15. In income tax, every total income is getting rounded off to the multiple of 10. So 15 lakh 1, technically, not a problem. It will be rounded off to 15 only. Yes, both 182 and 120 have to satisfy. If the source is more than 15 in the relevant year, Noda Kanna, either 182 or 120 plus 365. Oh, not Kanna, Kanni. Okay, yes. Divya, I hope you got my answer. Okay, jokes apart, yes. Yeah, so let's continue. You can ask your doubts, no problem. Don't think that you are killing time because the very purpose of this session is to revise. Yeah. So friends, is my speed okay? Yes, sir. I am on a faster side or a slower side or I'm very slow. Okay, is that so? So listen, slower. Okay, then I'll show. Okay. Now, don't say after this I'm fast. Okay. So friends, listen. But one thing, I'll address all the doubts. Okay. Don't consider that as slow. I'm discussing all the doubts. For others, it will be like why he is addressing all the doubts. So that is required. That is the very, basic thing. Okay. You are coming to me both for learning as well as solving your doubt. So don't think that solving doubt, I'm consuming a lot of time. Okay. Yeah. So coming back to the point, friends, now the question is, listen. Okay, it's good, sir. Keep on go. Very good. Motivating. Okay, excellent. So let's discuss the notes as well, friends. So listen, can you read that note? Income from Indian source. Are you all with me? Income from Indian source. What do you mean by income from Indian source? 3 things are considered as Indian source. What are the 3 things? Income accrued in India, plus first received in India, plus income accrued or arised outside India due to business control from or profession set up in India. Listen, how do we determine whether this person have an income which is more than 15 lakh? For that, what you need to do is all the income which is accrued in India. What do you mean by accrued in India? Accrued, earned in India. Earned, that means you have done some services in India. You have the right to receive that particular income from India. That is called as accrual, right to receive. Are you with me? Accrued in India or first received in India. What do you mean by first received? What do you mean by first received? Say for example, listen. Before we complete this, let me go back to the original thing that I've told you. Do you remember the basic rules for taxing an income? Do you remember the basic rules for taxing an income? You tell me which all are the basic rules for taxing an income. A residence rule or source rule. Residence rule, you determine the residential status, then you compute the total income accordingly. That's what we are doing right now. There is one more thing, and what is that one more thing? Source rule. Now let's complete the source rule only, then you understand what exactly is this source. What do you mean by source? Listen, 2 things are normally considered as source. Either income accrued in India or income first received in India. What is accrued? Accrued simply means, I'll give you an example so that you will understand what is accrual. Say for example, I am a person from France. I'm a French citizen, French resident. I got an assignment in India. Say CA+B Academy called me for some consultancy work. Are you all with me? I came to India and have done the work for CA+B Academy. Then I left India. I came to India, completed my work, then I left India. CA+B Academy paid me 10 lakh. CA+B Academy paid me what? 10 lakh. What is my resident status? I'm a French resident. In India, I am non-resident. But I have provided the service in India, in Chennai. In that case, that income from that service will be considered as income accrued in India. Are you with me? That is number 1. So accrual means if you have that right to receive that income from India, then we can say income is accrued in India. Number 2, what is first received? In the same example, CA+B Academy, I'll change the same example. Say CA+B Academy, I'm a person from France. CA+B Academy came to France. They want to open an institute in France. French CA. Okay. They want to do some French CA. They want to teach French chartered accountants. So in France, European CA, they started an academy in France. I've done some consultation services in France. After that, when I came to India, I simply visited India. At that time, they made the payment. Here the accrual is in France, but I received that payment in India. So we can say the first receipt is in India. If I am receiving an income in India, that income is also considered as a source of India. Then I have to pay the taxes in India. Are you with me? One more situation I can create. Say for example, CA+B Academy came to France. I've done the services in France. They made the payment in France. Then I came with that money to India. Is that taxable? Not taxable, because receipt means first receipt. Subsequent transfer of money into India is not considered as a first receipt. That is not taxable as well. Subsequent transfer of money into India is not considered as taxable. Are you all with me? Superb. So the point is very simple. If an income is either accrued in India or first received in India, that is considered as source in India. And you have to pay the taxes irrespective of your residential status, and that is called as what? Source rule. Are you with me? Are you with me? If an income is either first received in India or accrued in India, then I have to pay the taxes for that income in India, because that income's source is in India. Are you all with me? Now friends, in the example, in that particular example, I've told you that my income from India more than 15 lakh, then what will happen? 120 plus 365 day condition will be applicable for me. Are you all with me? Now for determining that, what is the explanation given by the income tax department? Listen, income from Indian sources means income accrued in India plus first received in India. In determining this 15, one more item is there as a part of source. Are you all listening? To determine whether your Indian sources income is more than 15, for the purpose of determining residential status alone, you have to add one more thing under the source definition. What is that one more thing? Income accrued or arised outside India due to business controlled or profession set up in India also have to be counted as Indian source income. Have you understood what I said? Normally, source means what? Either accrued in India or first received in India. Only that much. Normally, when you say source, it is either accrued in India or first received in India. Only for the purpose of determining this 15 lakh, you have to consider one more thing as a part of source. What is that one more thing? The third thing. What is the third thing? Income accrued or arised outside India due to business controlled or profession set up in India also have to be considered while computing that 15 lakh rupees for the purpose of determining residential status. Are you with me? Are you with me? So, Indian source income means very simple. Indian source income for the purpose of determining that 15 lakh means what? Accrued in India, first received in India, income accrued outside but due to a business controlled or a profession which is set up in India also have to be counted as Indian source income. Are you all with me? Next example for the third one. Say I am a chartered accountant in practice in Tamil Nadu. Okay, I'm a chartered accountant having a CA firm in Tamil Nadu. Currently, I'm residing in Dubai. I'm managing everything from Dubai, but my office, other staff, everyone is in Tamil Nadu. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? I got an assignment in Japan. Okay, I got an assignment in Japan. I have a Tamil connection or I have a Tamil Nadu connection, and one of the clients from Tamil Nadu knows me. That is my business client, and he wants to open a new company in Japan. I fly to Japan, done some services over there, received the payment in Japan. Doesn't matter. That Japanese income is due to my profession set up in India. That income which I earned from Japan also have to be counted for the purpose of determining this 15 lakh. Have you understood what I said? Have you understood what I said? Very simple. You check whether you have a profession or a business control from India. If due to that profession or a business control from India, you have income from any part of the globe, that also have to be counted for the purpose of determining this 15 lakh. It is as simple as that. Don't think that it is something very complicated. Okay, this is very simple. Are you with me? Actually, this income tax is very simple. Only the volume makes it complicated. It's voluminous. It's very, very voluminous. That makes it complicated. These are actually simple things only. Are you all with me? So can you repeat that definition again for me? What is the definition? Income from Indian source equal to, which all other things? Number 2. Number 3. Due to business controlled or profession set up in India. So you have to add these 3 for determining that 15 lakh mark. If your income is more than 15, then what is the conclusion? For determining residency status, you have two conditions. Either 182 or 120 plus 365. I hope it is clear. Now I'll get back to the online doubts. Yes. Repeat which example, my God. Directly credited or received in India? No. Okay, can you please repeat the example? Oh my God, this will actually kill the time. Okay. So what's your doubt? That will be better. Okay. You can directly ask your doubts. Don't tell me to repeat. Why? Because if I repeat, around 300 students are there. Around 289 to 290 students are there in online. And I don't know what is the count here. I cannot count. Around 150 students are here. Around nearly 500 students are here. So don't tell me to repeat an example. That is a kind of a time killer. I hope you understand what I said, okay? If I repeat that example for that one student, what will happen? That 499 students' time is getting delayed. So please understand my situation also. Yes. You can ask your doubts, okay? So point is very clear, friends. Listen. We are determining the residency status. We'll conclude everything in 5 minutes. We are determining the residential status. Now you tell me, to determine the residential status for a normal person, which are the conditions? 182 days or more stay in India in the relevant PY. Or 60 days or more stay in India in the relevant PY. Plus 365 days or more stay in India during immediately for preceding PY. You'll become a resident. Are you with me? That 60 plus 365 day condition is not applicable for two persons. Which are the two persons? Indian citizen who leaves India as a part of employment or as a part of a crew member of an Indian ship. Not applicable. 60 plus 365. For that person, only one condition. Irrespective of his income. 182 days or more stay in India. Bus. Is that clear? Second one. Indian citizen or Indian origin who is residing outside India. He comes on a visit to India. Whatever the purpose is, he comes on a visit to India. For that person, 60 plus 365 is never applicable. But for determining residency status of that person, you have to be careful. You have to check what is his income from Indian source in the relevant PY. Income from Indian source for this purpose means income accrued in India, first received in India, income accrued or received outside India due to business controlled or profession set up in India. Hope you remember the examples. Always visualize and store these examples in your head. So whenever you read a question, you just put the figures in that particular example that I've told you. Are you with me? If it was a regular class, I could have repeated this example and I could have given an elaborate discussion on this. Since it is a revision class, I'm restricting myself. I hope you understood what is our objective. Because we need to complete everything within 4 days. The only allotted time is 4 days. So we need to complete everything. That's why I'm rushing. So that particular point, what we are saying is, if you are an Indian citizen or an Indian origin residing outside India, comes on a visit to India, always check what is the total income from Indian sources in the relevant PY. If it is more than 15 lakh, then to becoming resident, either 182 days or more stay in the relevant PY or 120 plus 365 day condition is also applicable. For him, 60 plus 365 not applicable. If I am an Indian citizen or Indian origin residing outside India, comes on a visit to India, for me, my total income from Indian sources is less than or equal to 15, then only one condition, and that, what is that condition? 182 days or more. Is that clear? Is that clear? All right. So, national holiday, there is no difference, okay? Yeah. You always, obviously, yes, you have to consider all the national holidays, public holidays, strikes, etc. Don't worry. So, moving on to the next one, friends. Now, there is a special rule for Indian citizens who are crew members of a Indian ship. We will understand this special rule. Listen. Say for example, I'll make use of an example to make you understand what exactly is the special rule. Okay. Say for example, this is a person, and this person entered a ship. He's a crew member. This guy is an Indian citizen plus crew member. Okay, of an foreign going Indian ship. Foreign going Indian ship. What do you mean by foreign going Indian ship? What do you mean by foreign going Indian ship? The ship is going from Indian port to foreign port. Are you all with me? It's a foreign going Indian ship. So in a foreign going Indian ship, I am an Indian citizen and I am a crew member. So I entered into this ship. I entered into the ship on 1st April 2023. Are you all with me? Now the ship is in Chennai port. Now the ship is where? In Chennai port. The ship left the Indian territorial waters on, say, 30th June. On 30th June 2023 only, the ship left Indian territorial waters. Residing in India means both in the landmass as well as in the Indian waters. Are you all with me? Both the territorial waters are also considered as staying in India. So the ship came back. It completed its international voyage and came back on 1st January 2024. It completed its voyage and came back on 1st January 2024. Then I have some job in that particular ship. Okay, I'm a crew member of that ship and I had some job in that particular ship. I've completed my job and went out of the ship on 31st March 2024. I completed my job and went out of the ship on 31st March 2024. Now you tell me, according to the definition that we have learned, if we start counting the number of days, we have to count in 23-24. How many days I've stayed in India? According to what we have learned till now, in 23-24, how many days have I stayed in India? You tell me. How many days? Let's see. In April, 30. May, 31. June, 30. Then January I came. On 1st January I came. So January, 31. February, 29 being leap year. March, 31. Can you tell me the total days of stay? Can you tell me the total days of stay? 182. So we can say that I am a resident. Yes or no? Yes or no? But department comes up with rule number 126. What they are saying is, if you are an Indian citizen as well as a crew member of an Indian ship. Are you all listening? If you are an Indian citizen plus crew member of an Indian ship, you are a part of a foreign going ship. The date when you enter the ship, from that date until you exit the ship, don't count as if you are in India. You can consider that you are outside India, including the date of entry and date of exit. Are you with me? So I'll repeat, if you are an Indian citizen plus crew member of an Indian ship, that too it should be a foreign going Indian ship, then you will be considered as a resident. For that, when you count the number of days, both the date of entry and the date of exit and the period in between can be counted as you are outside India. So technically you tell me, how many days am I in India? 0. Why 0? On 1st April 2023, I entered the ship. On 31st March 2024, I exited. I'm talking about my entry and my exit. I'm not talking about the ship's entry into international water and ship's entry into Indian waters. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about my entry and exit. Are you with me? Including that date, I can count as if we are outside India. Are you all with me? Have you understood what I said? So this is called as CDC sign in and CDC sign out. What is CDC sign in? Continuous discharge certificate sign in. Say for example, if you are a seafarer or a crew member of a ship, whenever you enter a ship, it's just like the passport. Whenever you go out of India, they will timestamp you. Just like whenever you enter a ship, they will timestamp you in the CDC. What is CDC? Continuous Discharge Certificate. It's a certificate maintained by the maintained as per the Shipping Act or the Merchant Shipping Acts. Are you all with me? Are you with me? So according to that, whenever you enter that ship, you from that date till you exit that ship will be considered as you are outside India. Are you all here? Now let's read that particular theory. According to rule number 126, in case of an individual being a Indian citizen and a member of crew of a ship, the period of stay in India shall be in respect of an eligible voyage, that is to outside India, not include the following period. So when you count the number of days and you are going outside India, the following dates shall not be counted. Which all are the dates? Number 1. I want all of you to read this. Can you please read number 1? From the date entered into continuous discharge certificate in respect of joining the ship by the said individual till the date entered into continuous discharge certificate in respect of signing off by that individual. There is an L missing. From the ship. So from the date of entry till the date of exit, including the date of entry and date of exit, you can consider as if you are outside India. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? So this is rule number 126. Now let me address the online doubts. What are the things? Indian crew member having 15 lakh, exceeding 15 lakh. Even 182 days only applicable for him? Yes. Then 91 days in 2023. Okay, you have counted that. Okay, total days, illustration 1, page number 2.7. Okay. Aparna, your mic is on. Then is person going to Dubai? Our flight, sir, person going to Dubai, our flight time 11:30 p.m. But flight delay. Don't worry. That security check-in is considered as the time. Okay. The security check-in only will be considered as time. Flight delay is not because of you. Don't worry. So moving on. Come again. Security check-in. Security check. You completed your security check-in. That moment will be considered you are outside India. Complete the security check-in before 12 o'clock. Even if your flight is 12:15, go early. Complete your security check-in early. Okay. Yeah. So friends, listen. Yeah. Online friends, whoever they are attending, please make sure that your mics are off. Okay. Yeah, I think I can mute from here. Okay. Allow participant. The problem solved. Don't worry. I've muted everyone. Yes. So friends, we will come back and we will finish off the things. So listen, for the determining residency status is the days of stay in India is the criteria. Are you all listening? But there is another thing called as deemed resident under section 6(1)(a) of income tax. Are you all listening? There is a concept called as deemed resident. Let's understand what exactly is the concept of deemed resident. So please listen. Please listen. For a person to become resident in India, he should stay in India for at least 1 day minimum, but not for deemed resident. What is deemed resident? What is this deemed resident? Deeming fiction. Irrespective of your actual days of stay, whether you have stayed in India or not, we don't care. If you satisfy these 3 conditions, we will say that you are a resident. Are you with me? Whether you have stayed in India or not, if you satisfied all the 3 conditions, we will say that you are a resident in India. So we will start with the first point. What is the first point? An individual being an Indian citizen. Very simple. First of all, you have to be an Indian citizen. Number 2, having income from more than 15 lakh from Indian sources. Your income from Indian sources should be how much? More than 15 lakh. Hope you remember the definition for income from Indian sources. Income accrued in India, first received in India, or income accrued outside India due to business controlled or profession set up in India. So, what is the next one? In a PY, if he is not liable to pay taxes in any country due to his residence. What does that mean? He keeps on flying or he stays in a tax haven. What is tax haven? A country where they are not charging any income tax. Are you with me? Say for example, I am a person, I am an Indian citizen. Okay, to avoid the income tax, I stay in a country. I have a lot of investments in India. To get over from the residential status headache, what I'm doing is, I'm staying in a place where there is no taxes. In a tax haven and going and staying over there. Are you all with me? In that case, what department say? You would be deemed to be a resident in India in that previous year. So starting with the first one, an Indian citizen having income from more than 15 lakh from Indian sources in a previous year, I am not liable to pay taxes in any country due to my residential status. Either I am not resident anywhere or I am a resident in a place where there is no taxes. Then department say, don't worry, welcome to India. You shall be deemed to be a resident in India. We don't want to know whether you have stayed in India. You are Indian citizen having income from India which is more than 15 lakh and you are going and staying in a country which is a tax haven. You come over here and you will be considered as a deemed resident in India. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? So this point is irrespective of the fact that whether you have stayed in India or not. This is not at all necessary. Whether you have to stay in India, the staying in India condition is not at all necessary over here. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? So this provision will not apply in case of an individual who is a resident of India in the previous year. What do you mean by this? You stayed in India for 182 days. Then you are an actual resident, not a deemed resident. If you actually stay in India for 182 days or any of the other conditions, then you will be considered as a normal resident, not a deemed resident. Now, income from Indian sources are same as above. The same definition that we have learned. That's what is called as Indian from Indian sources. And there is not number 3. Liable to tax means there is an income tax liability on such person under the law of a country for the time being in force. It also includes a person who has been subsequently been exempted from such liability under law of a country. Say for example, I am staying in a country. In that country there is income tax, but that country is giving an exemption for my income. That is okay. Are you with me? Say for example, I am in France having some agricultural income in France. According to the French law, say agricultural income is exempted in France. Here we cannot say that I am staying in a country where there is no taxes. Even though I am not paying any taxes. Why? Because they charge tax, but my income is exempted over there. That is perfectly okay. In that case, I will not be considered as a deemed resident in India. Because it is not on account of my problem. They have exempted my income. Are you with me? So this is how you have to determine the residency status of a deemed resident. So we have discussed actual residence and deemed residence. Actual resident based on the number of days of stay. Deemed resident based on 3 conditions. Indian citizen, 15 lakh, and not paying taxes in any country due to the residence. In that case, you will be considered as a deemed resident in India. Are you all with me? Online friends, I hope it is clear for you. Now, moving on. So moving on to the next one. Now, once if we have discussed determined the residential status, the second thing to do is what? You need to split that residential status into 2. If you are a resident, then we will call you as either ROR or RNOR. What is ROR? Resident and ordinary resident. What is RNOR? Resident but not ordinary resident. What is the purpose of splitting you into ROR and RNOR? I will tell you later. First of all, let's complete what is ROR and RNOR. Thereafter, I will discuss what is the purpose of splitting this ROR and RNOR. So let's understand who is an RNOR. If you know who is RNOR, others will be ROR. Are you with me? So let's understand who are RNOR. So can you read this green box? In case of, we will start from this blue box. In case of a resident individual, he is said to be resident but not ordinary resident. That is RNOR. If any of the following conditions are satisfied. If any of the following conditions are satisfied, will be considered as a RNOR. What is condition number 1? He is a non-resident in any 9 out of last 10 preceding previous years. Listen. Say for example, we are determining the residency status of a person. Assume we are determining the residency status of a person. Now, say the relevant previous year is 2023-24. The relevant PY is 2023-24. In 23-24, say either 182 days condition or 60 plus 365 day condition, I become what? Resident. I become what, friends? Resident. Now, once if I become resident, then we need to check whether I am ROR or RNOR. Once we have determined the residency status, we need to check whether I am an ROR or RNOR. You tell me, how do we determine whether I am an ROR or RNOR? First condition, what they say is, you go check the residency status of the past 10 previous years. Immediately 10 previous years. Which all are the immediately 10 previous years? 22-23, 21-22, 20-21, 19-20, 18-19, 17-18, 16-17, 15-16, 14-15. I think it's 10. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 13, 14. These are the past 10 previous years. Now listen. In this 10 preceding previous years, say you need to check the residency status each year. You need to check the residential status each years. Then in this each year, out of this 9 out of 10 if I am a non-resident. Out of this 9 out of 10 if I am a non-resident, then I will be considered as what? An RNOR this year. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? Yes. To revise basic salaries, IFP and discuss RTPs and previous year questions. What is this? Is that a doubt or something? All right. So, listen friends. So, the point is, what they are saying is, say if you are a resident in 23-24, to check whether you are ROR or RNOR in 23-24, you need to check the residency status of last 10 preceding previous years. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? In 9 out of 10 last 10 preceding previous year, if I am a NR, that means I am a resident but not ordinary resident. Forget about technicality. In common layman's language, what do you mean by an ordinary resident? What might be ordinary resident? Every year I am a resident. Then I will be a ordinary resident, just like locals. Yes or no? Every year I am a non-resident. This year accidentally I become a resident. Normally I am a non-resident and this year I accidentally become a resident. Then you are a resident but not ordinary resident. Are you with me? But income tax department cannot say accidentally and all. Because then they will be subjected to a lot of interpretations. You are subjected to some accident or something. Yeah, because the interpretations is very critical. So what they are saying is, you do one thing, you check the residency status of the past 10 years. Out of that, 9 out of 10, if you are NR, 10 out of 10 is also fine. Are you with me? 9 out of 10 minimum. Out of 10 years, 9 years you have to be a non-resident. Then we will call you as an RNOR this year. Because for the last 10 years, out of that, in 9 you are NR. That means no problem, you will be considered as an RNOR this year. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? Moving on to the second case, OR. These are actually OR. What is OR? If you satisfy first condition, then we can conclude that you are an RNOR. You are not satisfying first condition, then check the second condition. What is second condition? If total stay in India in the last 7 years preceding previous year is 729 days or less. Very simple. The same example, you become a resident in 23-24. You need to check the total days of stay in 7 preceding PYs. Which all of the 7 preceding PY? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You check the number of days of stay in this 7 preceding PY. We check the number of days of stay in 7 preceding PYs. Then you tell me, in that 7 preceding PY, your days of stay your days of stay is 729 or less. Your days of stay is what? 729 or less in immediately 4 preceding PYs. Not 4, 7 preceding PYs. Then you tell me what will be the conclusion. Again, you will be considered as an RNOR. Which year? 23-24. Are you with me? Because 7 into 365 will be around 2,500. Out of that, only 729 days or less you stayed in India. So department say, no problem, you will be considered as a resident. Why? Because you have satisfied 182 in 23-24. But not ordinary resident due to your past number of days of stay in India. Are you with me? Are you with me? So what is condition number 3? If that also was not satisfying, then you have to check the possibility of condition number 3. What is condition number 3? He become a resident due to 120 days plus 365 days condition referred above. What is that? What do you mean by that? I hope you remember. Indian citizen or Indian origin residing outside India came on a visit to India having an income from Indian sources more than 15 lakh will become a resident. If that person becomes a resident due to that 120 plus 365 day condition, don't check anything else. He will be an RNOR. Are you with me? If you become a resident due to that 120 plus 365 day condition, the conclusion is don't check anything else. You will be an RNOR. Are you all with me? Very good. And what is the last condition? If that is also not satisfying, what is the last condition? If you are a deemed resident, that means Indian citizen having a total income from Indian sources which is more than 15 lakh plus not paying taxes anywhere due to your residential status, then you will be considered as a deemed resident. Deemed residents are always RNOR. Are you all here? So, if this is also not satisfying, then very simple. You are ROR. He is said to be a resident and ordinary resident if none of the above conditions are satisfied. Are you all with me? So, what they are saying is to becoming an RNOR, any of the 4 conditions, any of the following above 4 conditions have to be satisfied. If you are not satisfying any, then ROR. Don't think about all, because if one condition is satisfied, the conclusion is RNOR. If none of them are satisfying, you will become an ROR. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? Yeah, I'll get into online friends now, don't worry. So, my God, what is this? Get out of India for medical treatment. I thought you telling me to get out of India. Okay. Get out of India for medical treatment for 1 year in the previous year. You'll become non-resident. Person of Indian origin staying in tax-free country, having exceeding 15 lakh. No. You have to be an Indian citizen. For determining the deemed residential status, you have to be an Indian citizen. 15 days only, okay. No. Only Indian citizen can be deemed resident. Yes. Normal days condition will apply. Yes. See. For a person, you always have to check the number of days of stay condition. Okay. Deemed residential status is a case where you are not staying in India or you are staying in India for lesser number of days, but you will be deemed to be a resident. Are you with me? If a deemed resident stays in India for more than 182 days, he is a normal resident only, not a deemed resident. Have you understood? Always check that days of stay. If you are not a resident due to that, then only check for the deemed residential status. All right. So I hope it is clear. If you have doubts again, just post your doubts over here. Okay. So friends, we have done the residential status main theory. Now let's solve some past exam questions. Okay. Now you will understand why I've repeated all these points again and again and again. So this is an RTP question, RTP November 2022. So can you just go through this question? Take 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes to read and understand the question. Okay. Take 5 minutes to read and understand the question. Please don't talk in between. During this 5 minutes, you just read and understand the question. After that, we will solve it together. Yes. How about online friends? You have an answer? Okay. Very good, very good, very good. Excellent. So I got a lot of answers. Very good. So friends, listen. Let's solve it together, okay? So Mr. Dhanush, as Indian citizen, aged 35 years, worked in ABC Limited in Mumbai. He got a job offer from XYZ Incorporate, USA on 1/6/22. He left India for the first time on 31st March 2022. So he left India in which year? In which year? 22-23. He left India and joined XYZ Incorporate on 8/8/22. During the previous year, 23-24. So they are asking in examination, the relevant PY will be always 23-24. Are you with me? In 99.9% cases, it will be 23-24. But there are certain questions where they will tell you to compute the total income of both 2-3 years. There are certain questions like that. Exceptional cases, there are certain questions like that as well. So, in 23-24, Mr. Dhanush visited India from 25 May 2023 to 22 September 2023. So, in 23-24, how many days he visited India? Can you count? From 25th, that means 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. It's May, we have 31 days. Are you with me? 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So 7 days in May. Then for the whole June, 30. For the whole July, 31. For the whole August, 31. Then September, how many days? 22 days. Can you count the total days of stay? 120 days he stayed in India. So what might be the possibility? How can it be 121? 121, huh? Okay. 121. 121 days he stayed in India. So indirectly they are leading to that 120 plus 365. Yes or no? But for that you need to check the total income and all. So let it be there. So he has received the following income from the previous year 23-24. So he received a lot of incomes. Determine the residency status of Mr. Dhanush and compute his income for assessment year 24-25. First of all, when a question comes in examination, what is the first thing to check? Whether he stayed in India for 182 days or more, and the answer is no. Why? Because only 121 days he stayed in India for the relevant PY. So that is gone. For this person, 60 plus 365 is not applicable. Why? Because he is an Indian citizen or an Indian origin residing outside India, came on a visit to India. Because in 23-24, he is coming on a visit. In 22-23, he left India. Very next year, he is residing in an overseas country, coming on a visit to India. So he is under that category, and 60 plus 365 condition is not applicable. Are you with me? Now the only one possibility for that person to become a resident is what? 120 plus 365 day condition, because he is staying in USA. Okay, the only one possibility for him to become a resident in India is 120 plus 365 day condition. But for that you need to compute the total income from Indian sources. Yes or no? Are you all listening? So we need to compute the total income from Indian sources for that particular thing. So let's compute the total income from Indian sources. So computation of total income from Indian source for 2023-24. What is item number 1? What is the first type of income? Salary. You tell me, what is the definition for Indian source income? What is the definition for Indian source income? Income accrued in India plus first received in India plus accrued outside India or received outside India due to business controlled or profession set up in India. This is what is called as Indian source income for the purpose of counting that 15 lakh. Are you with me? First one, salary from XYZ Incorporate, USA, received in USA. Not accrued in India, not received in India. and it is a salary. So it has no connection with any business. So not considered for the purpose of counting 15. Are you with me? Now, second one, dividend from Indian companies. Obviously, it's an income from Indian company share, and hence it have to be considered as an income accrued in India. So we have to take dividend income from India. So dividend from Indian company. How much is that amount? 5,50,000. Obviously, you have to consider. Then, what is next? Agricultural income from land situated in Punjab. So, it is an exempted income under section 10, subsection 1. All the agricultural incomes are exempted provided the land is in India. All the agricultural income from Indian land shall be fully exempted. Punjab means Indian Punjab. Okay, Pakistan also we have a Punjab. But when they say simply Punjab, it is Indian Punjab only. Are you with me? Don't assume it is Pakistan and all. Now, moving on to the next one. Rent received or receivable from house property in Lucknow. House property in Lucknow means India. You have a rent. And how much is the total rent? 4 lakh. But don't take that entire 4 lakh. Why? Because from rental income, every person can claim dash. Standard deduction 30%. Hope you remember. From net annual value, you can always deduct standard deduction as well as interest on loan. We will discuss house property, okay? But for the time being, hope you remember it from your regular days. So what you can do is, rental income is 4 lakh 30. Rental income is 4 lakh, right? 4 lakh. From that, you can deduct what? Minus standard deduction at 30%. And can you help me? How much is 30%? 1,20,000. You deduct that. How much will be the net income? 2,80,000 will be your net income. Let it be there. And what is next? Profit from my profession in USA. So accrual is in USA. But which was set up in India. Received there. There means where? USA. Hope you remember our Japan example. I have a profession in Chennai. I got an assignment in Japan. So, where I went to Japan, completed an assignment in Japan and received my income in Japan. But I have a profession in Chennai. Due to that only, I got a work in Japan. Something similar to that. Here they are using USA. Are you with me? All the examples that I make in class are based on the past exam questions. Why? Because I'll show you something. We have a book which is called as a workbook. Okay. This is actually a published book, authored by me. You can see my photo also. Okay. Now, in this workbook, all of these are past exam questions. Past exam questions, RTP questions. You can check it here. Oh, I don't know whether online students can see this. May 2022, including all the question papers. These are the past question papers which is included in this particular book. Based on this book only, I have decided this revision session. We have charted this revision session based on this particular book. Are you with me? So all the examples, all the topics, all the extra things that I discuss in class will be the adjustments in your either RTP or past exam questions. Out of that, I've selected certain questions, and these are the questions that we are about to solve in the classes. Are you with me? Are you with me? So only after this, we have decided to set a 4-day revision based on these topics. That's why I'm making you solve certain selected questions, because 100% questions I will not be able to solve. Even if it is a regular, no faculty will be able to make you solve the 100% of the questions. So we have selected some questions out of them. Now, moving on. So what to do with here? Income from USA, profession which is set up in India, but you have received that income over there. You tell me what to do. You have to count it or you have to ignore it? You have to count it, because that was the third thing. Income accrued outside India or received outside India due to profession or business which is control or set up in India. Also you have to count, so that you can take that entire 6 lakhs. Profession income 6 lakhs. Now can you take the total? How much is his total income? Come again. 14 lakh 30,000 is the Indian source income, and you can conclude that 120 plus 365-day condition is not applicable. If you miss standard deduction, then the answer is different. This is an RTP question. This is how they make question, okay? That question will be like very sensitive. If you ignore a small thing, the answer will be altogether different. This is how you lose your mark in exam. Are you all with me? So what you need to do is 120 plus 365 is not applicable. So 60 plus 365 not applicable. 120 plus 365 not applicable. And he stayed in India only for 121 days. So 182 is also not applicable. Are you with me? Hence you tell me what is the conclusion. So the conclusion is he is a non-resident. So residential status. Non-resident. And if he is a non-resident, then tell me, you need to compute the total income as well. They are asking us to compute what? Total income as well. Are you all with me? Now we need to compute as total income based on that NR status. Are you all here? Are you all here? Before solving that part, I'll give you another explanation. Before solving that part, let me give you another explanation. So friends, tell me, what was the very purpose of determining residential status? To compute the total income based on residence rule. Are you with me? Let's understand how to compute the total income based on the residential status. For that, there is one sub rule is there. Let's understand what exactly is that. So listen, which all are the statuses we have? Resident and ordinary resident is the first status we have. Second one, resident but not ordinary resident. That is the second one you have. And you have one more. What will be that? Non-resident. So you have three statuses, ROR, RNOR, NR. You tell me, how do you determine a total income of a ROR? Department say, all the incomes are taxable for an ROR. Whether it is accrued in India, accrued outside India, whether it is received in India, first received outside India, doesn't matter. If you are a ROR, all the incomes will be taxable in your hands. So we can say global income shall be taxable, or we can say global income shall be taxable for an ROR. If you are a ROR, the entire income, that means wherever you earn an income, whether it is accrued in India or outside India, doesn't matter, that shall be fully taxable in India. Are you with me? Are you with me? What if you are an NR? We'll complete NR, then we will come to RNOR. Okay. What about NR? You tell me, think and tell me, which all are the incomes taxable for an NR? If an income's source is in India, that means either accrual or first receipt. That income accrued outside India due to business or profession set up in India have to be counted only for that 15 lakh purpose. Only for determining the residential status. For an NR, his scope of total income will be income accrued in India or first received in India. Or first received in India shall be taxable. Either it have to be accrued in India or it have to be first received in India for taxing on income if your status is NR. Are you with me? Now there is a thing which is not an ROR, not an NR. In between there is a thing. Who is that in between guy? RNOR. And how about his? His taxable income shall be same as that of NR. I will say his taxable income is same as that of NR. That means income accrued in India as well as first received in India will be taxable in the hands of RNOR as well. Along with that, one more item will be taxable. What is that? Income accrued or arised outside India due to business control from India or profession set up in India also will form part of the scope of total income of RNOR. So RNOR and NRs are bye-bye. Almost it is the same. But RNOR have one more extra. What is that extra? Income accrued outside India will never be taxable for an NR. But it can be a taxable income for RNOR subjected to one thing. What is that one thing? If that business controlled or profession set up in India, that also will form part of the total income of a RNOR, not NR. For ROR, everything will be taxable. So he need not worry about anything. Because you are a resident in India, you have to pay the taxes. Then only the country will grow. NR is earnings from income from India. Because you are earning economic activity happening in India, pay the taxes. Then only in future you will be able to do more economic activity in India. RNOR, you are a resident, varu ana varadu. Something like that. You are a resident, but not an ordinary resident. So, income accrued in India, first received in India, plus income accrued outside India due to business controlled or profession set up in India also will form part of the scope of total income. Is this clear? Is this clear? And actually, this is the first thing in our note. Okay, this is the first thing in our note. But we started with the residency status, completed that, then we are coming back to that particular point. Now, friends, listen. Coming back to the question. In the question, we were discussing about what? The residential status determination. And as per the question, what is the residency status? Non-resident. Now, you need to compute the total income. You tell me which all are the total income for NR? Accrued in India, first received in India. Out of these, which all are accrued in India or first received in India? First one, salary, not accrued in India, not first received in India. Dividend income, that is accrued in India. So we can write dividend income. Dividend income 5,50,000. It is accrued in India. Then what is next? You have agricultural income. Yes, it is accrued but exempted. It is accrued in India because the land is in Punjab. It is accrued but exempted. So you don't have to count that. Rental income from Lucknow. Yes, accrued in India, subjected to standard deduction, and the net income will be 2,80,000. So rent we can say 2,80,000. Then how about the last one? Profit from profession in USA. Accrual USA. But you have a setup in India. No worries because you are NR. And you received it there. That means in USA. That means receipt is in USA. If received here, then answer would have been different. So one word, different answer. Are you with me? That much sensitive is income tax. Are you all here? Are you all here? So I cannot simply rush through the topics. If I simply rush through the topics, within 4 days, I'll be able to cover a lot of topics, but it will be useless. Trust me on this. If I cover a lot of topics in a summarized manner, it will be useless for you because in examination, every question will be in an in-depth manner. They will only test those questions which are very depth. So it is always better to cover everything in deeper rather than discussing everything. Okay. So you tell me how much is his taxable total income? 8,30,000. You don't have to count that last item because the status is NR. So the total income will be 8,30,000 and residency status will be NR. Is that clear? Is that clear? Now let me address online doubts. Okay. Sir, your voice is not audible. My God. Is there a problem with my voice? Please respond, guys. Is there a problem with my voice? Resident and non-resident answers as a, sir, we will be adding agricultural income to the normal income and later deduct that agricultural income to increase the... No, that is partial integration. But you don't have to add it with the total income, okay? Thiru, you don't have to add it with the total income because when you compute total income, exempted incomes are always outside the scope. That is partial integration. That is required only when you compute the tax liability. Okay. NR, that's the answers are we 15 limit after deduction and exempted. Tata, bye bye. Bye bye. A non-resident having a business setup in India will not be taxed in a non-resident having a business setup in India will not be taxed in India. Yes, provided that income also should be accrued in India. All those clients that he get from India, for that services, definitely you need to pay the taxes. Imagine Microsoft having a branch in India. Okay, only those activities in this branch will be taxable in India, right? Microsoft head office is not required to come to India and pay the taxes. It is something like that. Voice no problem. Sir, can you please show the ROR and R and NOR page for a minute? Sure. Clear? No? Okay, I think it's audible. No, fine. Yeah. Good level of teaching, motivation. Thank you. Crystal clear, both concept voice. Very good. Sir, after 15 limit after deduction and exemption. Yes. That is total income. That's why you use the word total income from Indian source. What is total income? Total income computed as per the income tax law. All the deductions, exemptions you have to consider. Now it's clear, but NR example didn't get to me. Okay, so hope you understood. Okay, sir, 6 lakh resident, but not ordinary resident, sir. 6 lakh resident. Actually, I didn't get your question. Can you be more elaborate? Sir, why not taking the profits from business? NR, Archana. Why? Because for an NR, how do you determine the scope of total income? Listen here. Income, either it have to be accrued in India or first received in India. See, when it comes to the last point, the profit is from USA. So accrual, USA. Received there. There means where? USA. So the first receipt also in USA. So for an NR, first receipt USA and accrual also USA. Hence not taxable. Got it? Super concept clarity. Thank you guys. A non-resident having a business set up in India will not be taxed in India. Yes, that's what I said. That Microsoft branch. Okay. Imagine Microsoft USA company. Can Indian government say that you have a branch in India, you have to pay the taxes for your global income? In that case, India will be the richest country in the world. Yeah. Come again, I didn't hear. If US is a tax haven, different story. You have to check for the deemed residency status also, but only 14 lakh 30. So he will not be a deemed resident as well. Is that clear? Great. He will be taxable for the Indian source income. Yeah. Sir, for NR is income accrued and received in India or accrued or either accrued or received. Yes. 120 days condition, we add professional income. For checking that 120 days condition, your income from Indian sources should be more than 15, right? For computing that 15, you have to add income accrued outside India due to business control or profession setup in India. Yes, it is like that. Yeah. All right, friends. So, shall we go for a break? So, how much time you want? 11:15. Okay, agreed. So, go relax and come back at 11:15. Okay, go. Please be on time, okay? Otherwise, you will lose the concept. So, please be on time. Can you do evaluate? What is that? What is evaluate? What illustration? Yeah, we have one sum for deemed resident. Don't worry. Next sum is actually connected with the deemed resident. Okay, don't worry. We have one more sum coming. That is related to the deemed resident. So go relax. Don't worry. That is the next sum.